The rough draft is where we write complete sentences and put our ideas into complete sentences. This step may not be difficult or time-consuming, but it's very important. Students do not need to labor at this point over excellent sentences. The purpose of the rough draft is to follow the outline exactly, maintaining proper organization and order, and put those keywords into complete sentences. So the key here is complete sentences and following the order of the outline. Now you'll find that in our handbook as well as our student lesson guides that we do have a template for the rough draft. So we ask that your students, when they're working on the expanded paragraph, that they will use that template. So you'll notice each time they begin a sentence, they are starting a new line, which is fine for right now. The template is labeled sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. It is also labeled with MP1, SD, etc., etc. So main points and supporting details are also labeled there. So your students will be able to recognize exactly where those keywords will be written into complete sentences on their rough draft template. The main point here, like I mentioned, is we do not want to lose the order and the organization that they have worked hard to create. The other key factor in writing the rough draft, which is actually quite tricky for students, is where they are writing their chunks. So their main point sentences, after they write their topic sentence, which needs to be very broad and general, and identify what their paragraph is going to be about, they will write their first main point. So main point sentences are going to be simple and general. Supporting details need to connect to that main point, but they must add new information. Not simply repeating, adding new information and yet connecting to the main point. So you see the strategy here, and you see the critical thinking and the real the thought process for students to go through as they begin learning how to connect their ideas. We always teach grammar in our writing program as well as these methods. And grammar is woven in when necessary and where it is applicable. So if we are teaching children how to write complete sentences, that is an appropriate time to teach them what is a complete sentence. A complete sentence has two parts. It has a subject and a predicate. The subject is going to be a noun or a pronoun. The subject tells us who or what the sentence is about. The predicate is the other half of the sentence. It is going to contain a verb, an action verb or a state of being verb, but it will contain a verb. And it is going to tell us what the subject is doing or being. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. Furthermore, let me just point out that a complete sentence will make sense. All right. So if your student writes, "On my way to school yesterday," there may be a subject, there may be a noun, there may be a verb, there may be adjectives, but that doesn't make sense. "On my way to school yesterday" does not make sense. It is not a complete sentence. So we get the idea. Students need to write complete sentences in their rough draft. The complete sentence must have a subject and a predicate. It can be a simple subject and a simple predicate. We're going to teach students how to add great information and create more complex, stylistically interesting sentences, but that is not necessary when writing the rough draft. We want complete sentences following the order of the outline. We also want those chunks. We want supporting details to contain new information, but to connect to the main point without repeating. So that's actually some great work for the rough draft. Again, not necessarily something complex, but this is how we break down the writing process to make it manageable for students.
Students may use the Write Journey Student Lesson Guide for step-by-step lessons on each of the 4 steps in the writing process. In addition, the Student Lesson Guide teaches more advanced rewriting skills, including several ways for students to improve their own writing. Check out our website for information on our adult training program, our writing assessments, and all of our other services. The Write Journey. Great writers start here.